Talent, bantu boy too. Socially, abafan. You know me.
My ex is very much in the space where he has been exposed for a few GBV cases, I guess. You never know the growth of someone when they have certain things and when they don't.
And big ups to you first, Oguti. You put your body on the line and you say, there's a good human being.
Definitely.
Before lento befuna ukcreatewa mhlamba abantu abadecide ukuthi no uyileyo nto noma yenzeka yiwani.
God was on my side.
But memory card at 10 gig mo tlhaloganya ya ka lantsa ke re ke reverse memory card mpona thuto so.
Lorch called me a year later after getting my numbers.
Tetana le fame it was before the fame.
He was just coming into fame. Never jola.
And again, ukwajola ne DJ phela ungakhohlwa.
Oh Lord.
Once they did Kabza the small so
One.
Yebo sijukujuku wamawalawala wamavulavala wamawida wama-international bafethu. Welcome to another exciting episode of Top and Pass Season 2 bafethu. Niyazi ngihlala ngahambi ngiyi-1 namhlanje siphethe usiswa namhlanje abamthandayo bathi Dineo Campbell but yena uzozintroduce utshela ukuthi yena ubani.
Hi, it's Dineo Campbell here, PR and entertainment expert. What a lovely day to be on Trap and Pass, and I look forward to conducting this interview with you guys.
Sijukujuku wamawalawala wamavulavala wamawida wama-international mfana kacheko mfana today niyazi sesekuyo le month eMbokodo imonth yabantwana abanice angisafuna ukuchubeka because niyazi labantwana ngibafaka i-ice today bafethu samba nomunye usisi omuhle but niyazi angihambi ngiyi-1 ngiphethe inja yami umshonize abamthandayo abambizayo from kudala sadlala kubhakabhaka inja yami yangena ngama-Vodacom challenge uGerald Mudabi thinga litraphe ngeliphaselela.
Ayachamnabo. Welcome to Trap and Pass featuring Stu and Gerald. Season 2, sino sisonga favor iKaizer Chiefs or favor Women's Month. Shabba.
Hi, how are you?
You've got a beautiful smile. I want to smile now. Can I smile?
You can. You're more than welcome to.
You can speak English.
Definitely.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
So it means we are speaking English today.
Yo izulu sanghlula shem mazulu is
now we are champisa now man.
Dineo Campbell, a PR and communications specialist in the entertainment and media space. Those who know me. I'm not out there like that, but Stu seems to know more than I do.
Obvious.
He's a walking journal.
No,
he must, because he's about to grill me. I know it for a fact.
No. Plus, I like girls that speak English, you know, because lately I'm attending English classes.
I love it for you.
Yeah, so
growth.
I want to see myself one day speak fluent like Gerald.
Oh,
so it's nice having guests like you to show people that I can speak fluent English, but...
That's better.
What's about Olimo?
Jana, give me a clue.
I don't know. Have you watched the show before?
I have watched the show.
Well, what is the show about?
But I'm here for all good narratives, so anything spicy is not my forte.
Okay, what is the show about? Please explain to people what is the show about.
I think it's about the soccer fraternity, and I think the behavioral systems of soccer players and what you've seen and what you know about their lifestyles. Maybe I know something you don't.
Yeah, we're focusing on soccer players, but again,
oh, Lord.
Once they did Kabza the small, so it's not like we're going to focus on soccer only. So stop saying you're not out there.
I am in entertainment and media, but you wouldn't have known that had you not seen me a bit. I'm not out there like that, so my life is very private.
So, but you always...
Is it really private?
It is.
You can't be...
I'd like to think so.
Not anymore.
Because you're rubbing shoulders with the likes of Abomake, and you once lived with a soccer player that just left.
In entertainment.
And you used to stay with a soccer player that left Orlando Pirates. So, but this name was Kolumela. Was it Gerald?
ngicela yena aqale before wena ungena azisho simthole uthe PR marketing mara ubuya va ukuze afike wenzeni
It's what Alexander, kwanoko Alex.
why yena asho ukuthi uzwana nabo bantu before le list onginike yona abasebholeni kuqala before Kabza the small mara yena asemgayi ichannel uthi amaring.
So I dated an international soccer player, I think in my first few years of varsity.
Okay.
And then I went on to date, what do we call it, a national star? I don't know
you
if he's
forgot
still...
his name, the international.
I mean, we only have 2 acknowledged good soccer players in international.
Really now?
Yeah, he was in the Janan Cup, I think, from the age of 12.
Okay, I know, but I don't want to be caught with my pants down in Kamohelo.
So I dated Kamohelo Mokotjo.
Oh.
And lived with?
A good Lorch.
Okay.
For a good year. And I was a girlfriend, not a, yeah.
But nilidlula kaofela mostly.
Yeah,
much.
definitely.
Almost a year.
A whole year.
So whole nyetse mos. But after 6 months uhlala
No, let's kanyadisa batho ba sa batlo go nyalang guys because yaanong se re fasisa batho
Amalena koponna ke wa bona o shebile ka kwa and
anke ka tsaba go se jogona le
spice.
mathaithainyana.
Uqeta utsho a name that for me is very fascinating, but not for football. Ngeke ngilibiza igama. I'll get right into it. Okay. Women's Month. What do you think of Women's Month, and how is it to be a woman in this country?
I mean, I know exactly where you're going with this, but I personally, as a woman, right, celebrate the fact that I've grown my name as just Dineo Campbell. So no one can point at me and say, "Kwena Dineo chotsele mang mang." You know, so in the space where women are currently, I'm a big advocate for how we structure the likes of any woman who has her own platform before she's somebody's girlfriend or somebody else's wife or mang mang uchotsele mang mang, right? But at the same breath, I understand that we've got a very bad statistic of GBV and any violence towards females. I don't take a stance towards it, but I also feel that there are factual stuff that we need to know behind anything that happens. You know, so in the stance of me having dated a soccer player, let's just say God was on my side.
Okay.
Yes.
But when you started, you said, I know where you are going with this, and what mentioned...
Purely because my ex is very much in the space where he has been exposed for a few GBV cases, I guess.
And I'm glad that you say my ex. What do you think it cause, not yake, but of such behavior?
In my experience, right, for me personally, because hence I said to you, God was on my side, right? You never know the growth of someone when they have certain things and when they don't. Well, I understand that. I met Lorch at a place where he was very calm coming into the game. And I still don't take that away from him, even in this space, right? I don't think, and so much so that the fact we always say, the DJ is so, or soccer player is so, you know? And I think it's just a human trait more than anything. When people are faced with different situations, that will either bring out their true behavior when they have things, or who they always were. Well, I understand that. And I think particularly Lorch, because I'm a calm person, I didn't bring out a toxic behavior. Or when you don't react to certain things, or when you're not mutu or it doesn't feed off things, right? But the only problem with that is, for him to be exposed in the stage where he is right now, is purely because you get people who feed into it. And I'm not that person, unfortunately. I didn't experience any sort of violence, any sort of... to be even what he is exposed to be right now. And I can't even base it on factual stuff because personally I've never experienced any harm.
But what is also interesting, what I find interesting is your title, which is marketing and PR, and there are big names. There's Kamo, one good player.
Amazing player.
There's my friend here, who is still currently playing. But how does the GPV context come in gule marketing? Do you do enough to make sure that the footballers or people that are in sport?
I mean, weight skiing, because I work with talent in a general space, right? You will get into situations where people are like, when are you advocating for violence or whatnot because you're around the situations or whatnot. You'll never see me keep blomilis chugu 24/7, right? People don't know the background conversations we have behind anything that happens. So it's easy for, because you are in the limelight, this thing, that means you advocate for it. In my personal campus, I'm a communication specialist, so I do help women or anyone in any sort of industry facing those situations behind the scenes. And it's not who I am.
So you don't spin for a strugu who would beat up a woman because they are friends with you. It's Women's Month, and the woman who showing empama, strugu sabuguti, trap and pass, brand will be affected, and umganwako.
So for me, informalities, which ba fail, because in a private space, right? How do we then sort it out? But if it's something that I can't solve, I keep away.
So when do you think, since well no limutua Lorch and there were stories that the Tulinga Lorch or Shabba now, Shabba Banyana, do you think we change it to get chelete or fame or in? Because or give to come again.
Very calm.
So hali kam king means in hotel and the Shapa.
That's why I don't think I'm not saying he's not a violent person, I'm not saying he is, right? Mm-hmm. When you feed off certain energy, mm-hmm. and it na personally, Lorch he wasn't a person who goes out and he used to hide himself, never used to drink, never used to, you understand that? Mm. So that's what I'm saying, partially on one side of it is that basically. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I could say that. And maybe the person he is now is his true self. But on the other end, what's the role of the other person? Also remember, as you grow and in a bigger space, I've got a those guys always say to me, your man when he's rich is a different type. He's got a completely different type. You're not his type anymore. And not that he didn't have money at that time, it was just within our campus.
So we're not looking at yourself now, outside the type people comes out small, or you think
are they my type is the question.
Ish.
So I was never chasing lifestyle. I didn't need to chase lifestyle. So that's what I'm saying. Dineo girlfriend, I've always just been Dineo Campbell, a PR and marketing personnel alone. So I wasn't feeding off any entertainment from anyone, and that's why I've always been private about it. If I was chasing something, everyone would have known about my breakups, everyone would have known the fact that I was dating, mang. It's the small circles and the people around me who know, But I was never chasing fame, so I didn't need anyone to gas me up.
So don't let him off the hook. He still hasn't answered you about Kabza the Small, because City Ladies Month, you seem to be taking full charge of proceedings, and this man hasn't answered because for some reason he wants this Kabza the Small.
I don't know. There's no tea on Kabza the Small. That's what I'm saying. I've never had never chola.
Fail.
Perfectly fine.
It was before the fame.
He was just coming into fame.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I understand that. Yes, but also because just because it's Alex, I keep blomi thing because my family and my uncles are known in their own ways. You understand that? And how and also you work in entertainment, you understand how people are probably just dating you for your name or for who you are. It's not purely out of that. And it's who's going to get her first. I understand.
Okay.
So by the time I knew it, we started dating in our own capacity. In a different place, not in Alex, at a different gig.
But passing these people, Alex, that's their own job. They do. So
funny enough, when I met Kamo, I had no clue he was a soccer player. When I was in MGI in Midrand, through a friend. And it was, I think, first 2 weeks of my school holidays. It's new. I'm in varsity. Can I live my own space? You know, I can go into spaces like that. And hey, I'm a soccer player. It was literally natural until I walked into a Nando's, I think, in Sandton, and I heard people saying, "Oh, so now, yes, and it was a group of us.
I didn't know who he was.
It was a group of us.
I didn't know who he was.
I genuinely didn't. As I said to you, I don't need to date anyone for fame. I was already known in my own capacity. Lorch called me a year later after getting my numbers.
No, so
actually what happened is that Kyukupadi number, it's a khala, right? And we're in the mall. Also remember, for me, it's my first school holidays in varsity. And my best friend at that time was very closely the family thing. So we get there and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ignore this. The number. Obviously now, whatever the Androids, the iPhones, the Google thing picks up. So if I file go fail, and I'm like, oh shucks, so now I need to have the conversation because now I've got a reputation. I need to know who I'm dating. Then I put him to the side and I said, what's going on? And then he said to me, oh yeah, but just by the way, in 2 weeks I need to leave. And from then on we were cool.
So the interview is because now we are fast pacing you and then now I'm ready. I want to copy your interview. I want to copy interview. When I out Shabba and I give us to out sister confident namhlanje ngathi siyasibuyela
next one
ngifuna ukubuza wena ukuthi le ntwana ezi2 aringa ngazo 2 talented bowlers
I'm a midfielder
but 2 social contrasting difference ungayenza mistake ucabanga ukuthi ngithi omunye uyagura izobe wrong from mina because okay waba ne situation esi1 asikwazi ukubala ezi5 ukuthi uke senze ngathi umuntu oyenza riding and wayihambela mara talent big boy 2 omunye ubuya phesheya omunye usemzansi ucabanga ukuthi why lo ngoba la emzansi sicabanga ukuthi uNtswembu kakhulu mara le ibuya phesheya umehluko uva ngiringa nawe manje osaphumula ushaya ikholi imnandi
seluphinde futhi le question Gerald seluphinde futhi
talent bantswembu boy 2 socially abafani yini umehluko
umehluko mfethu I think ukuthi lo udlala overseas.
But what is it about overseas?
Abantu bazomthathela ekhanda because udlale overseas asesemncane Gerald and le ntwana le wazi ukuthi win ama Dineo Cup. I think it was player.
Yeah, it was the Dineo Cup player of the
tournament. Le ntwana lena wazi ukuthi phela age yakhe under 12 le ntwana got a chance yokumitha Zinedine Zidane and mungathi uyabheka abolotshi ngaleso sikhathi ngesikhathi le imitha Zinedine Zidane abolotshi meke sesekuphile iklapa lethunya okayikai
he wasn't blown
yeah so amantombazana ayalandele le cherrylism mfethu most amantombazana obheka lawa mahle mina ngazi what's this thing amantombazana kunyobisa le ntwana ezidlala ama middle amantombazane ubheke all the girls bathanda ukunyobisa le ntwana ezidlala ama middle fielder mina ngifuna ukumbuza ukuthi what kusikhathi uthola intombazane bheke kusikhathi uthola intombazane enyobisa ama defender.
But I don't know the differences. That's why I'm saying akakena ka ke lo jola soccer player. Understand? It was never my thing. That's why I also have no records of dating any other soccer players.
Okay.
Both of them are long-term relationships. I see the situation, but I'm going to answer you and help you. No violent, aggressive. So let me help you out.
Yes, please.
What I've learned in living in a home, and we're going to give that pure example. Okay. How do I international soccer player? Number one, when those people are on break, ababuya. There's no, I'm going to party, I'm going to drink, babuya ka file. Their file has a record of head to toe. Your records are on there from start to scratch, right? They're told what to eat. Those people have financial advisors. You are asked, who are you sending money to? How much is it? And what capacity is it for? Well, understand that there's a control system. When they were going to the clubs, okay, we win it today. We get to club for 4 hours, maybe, for example, right? There are people in the clubs. No, well, I'm saying international.
Okay.
Or wherever they're going, they still have a sort of security around them. They've got people watching them. Bakaso Shele from Hi Dineo Campbell. No. Bokamo had people saying to them, if there's somebody downstairs, not him specific, but I'm just saying those people, even the budget when they give them a budget. Okay. In the club, you're spending this amount.
Yam Carter, man. Okam was friends with Lacazette.
True.
Who played for Arsenal. Okamu was dating an international model in the United States.
Yes.
You know this.
I know her.
Kamo plays in South Africa right now.
Yes.
Axela file you head to toe. Lorch, Kamo is my baby. Lorch is, for me, is a better footballer
Then Kamo.
in terms of talent. Maybe conduct, this one was groomed more assassin Douala. But both of them come from the Free State.
They do.
And before sikhuluma ngezinye izinto eziseceleni Struku, responsibility yami nawe uDineo ukhuluma njenge-marketer vele ne-PR. Ufuna ukupromote
I've got no other language.
No, but you see.
Okay, like
yes, input.
So what I'm saying to you is that I'm not, and that's why it's the same thing. Soccer player, and there's always a narrative for soccer players are horrible people or whatnot. And that's why I'm saying you don't go into it saying I'm going to wake up today and date a soccer player. That's not my stance. It was never my concentration, and that's why I can look at both of them as normal human beings.
I apologize?
Lorch is good within his capacity.
Because
I'm going there. Lorch is good within his capacity, right? But I feel like because Kamo is groomed, number one, and grooming is very, you can groom me and get your instructions, right? The difference is that the money capacity, as Juga is saying, you don't know what somebody is like when they actually have a certain amount of money. Ne? Number two, he doesn't come from a grooming background, which he could have because his dad is a coach. Exactly. Well, I understand. So it's really just a personal choice, but also no one is really controlling you in South Africa. Is anyone telling you, but don't do this, don't do this? And do we have rehabilitation centers for South African soccer players and not in terms of alcohol or drugs, where they're not being judged?
Maybe retreat. Rehabilitation
Exactly. But rehabilitation can be mental, it can be emotional, it can be...
And I'm not saying it's wrong. If we can to focus on, because abuse women's month,
yes.
I really calling a need.
Aggressiveness.
Ne position ye bhola Kamo udlale trap pass. Lorch uhlanyisa abantu. If he was to go to Arsenal, the whole stadium would stand up.
Would they though?
They would. It's a big talent. Mar.
Why
the difference ukuthi
I get out.
Ngiyamyeka futhi angisayigeti khuluma ngolotch
I mean, look at what happened with a lot of, so you can have a coach this side, ne? How Fitla International, that coach that was there doesn't know you. So it doesn't mean Kenya number one immediately to play. Number two, you still have to prove yourself internationally. Until you've built a certain record, then people take you seriously. And then you've got cases of situations in South Africa where you've been written about, in that sense.
But Kamo,
I think we're no more hard.
No, but I'm not two person. Mina ngizama ukubonisa wena ukuthi wena uthi mina ngirata ubani.
Orata Lorch.
Lorch talented.
Definitely.
Lorch udinga wena imarketer umfakela ipressure yokuthi abe nama endorsement asiphathe
ithi irishwa mokhanyane ne Gerald so buka siqedelela indaba zama marketer since uyimarketer nanana awuthi sijump fast bafethu awuthi sijikeni kancane lapha kusho basikhona bafethu kusese first half siyabuya futhi second half danke impilo danke maluva lo dolo lo impilo holo asibonge.
Njengenjwayelo ngicala ukubonga lapho kuwe Hotman Gerald nawe Hotman Sjubu ngiyabona niphethe usiso omuhle lapho sis Dineo. Happy Women's Month to bonke abantu besifazane bathi wathinta abafazi wathinta imbokodo. Welcome to Shabba's Corner driven by EVW Netline and nazo ke eza kule viki.
Hizwa mina ngithi namantombazane this month we are still celebrating our beautiful mothers, sisters, wives, girlfriends, side chicks ngoba we do not discriminate here on Trap and Pass. Alright, here we go. This week on Shabba's Corner siqala ngayo ke EMTN 8 bafethu. This past weekend we witnessed both iSuper Sports who were not so united as well as the boys from the Galaxy TS for Life bakhishwe kanjalo ke ku MTN 8 Cup run leaving Orlando Pirates and Stellenbosch still in the running. Basically, this coming weekend, let's gather and support our teams as Isikhukhune United izobe idlala nayo Cape Town City on Saturday nge-10 August ngo 3 p.m. at Peter Mokaba Stadium ePolokwane, as well as Mamelodi Sundowns. Kamohelo will be playing against Polokwane City on Sunday 11 August at 3 p.m. at Lucas Masterpiece Muripe Stadium in Pretoria. Trappers, mina ngithi, what are your predictions with these games? Siphume kanjalo ke kuyo indaba ye-MTN8 ma-Trappers bese singena kule ama-signature bathi ama-latest signings. The Perfect Boys Kaizer Chiefs has made 3 new signings this week. Siqala ngaye ke uBongani Sam, who was from Orlando Pirates, then went to Morocco Swallows on a loan. Manje Kaizer Chiefs isimthathile. Ngisasekuba abafana bokuthula noxolo Kaizer Chiefs baphinde basana i-TS Galaxy goalkeeper uFia Krentori bese badlula ngale eTlorkope emabondeni ayelo basithathela uGustin Sirino from Mamelodi Sundowns, naye sekajoyine Kaizer Chiefs family. All the best Manchester sithi okuhle kodwa ke indaba yama-signing ayipheleli lapho kuphela ma-Trappers, ngobe iPolokwane City izitholele owabo uBonginkosi Dlamini, not uZola 7 bafethu, but the young star from Newcastle Young Chiefs, and also a 20-year-old Simpiwe Sithole from Golden Arrows has also joined iPolokwane City. Ngithi asambeni. Njengoba benzwile nami ekuqaleni bengiziculela ngawo amantombazane, kusho khona ukuthi Shabba sikhona inilethele indaba ezimnandi kuphela as a way of celebrating our ladies all year around. Shabba sikhona has a new segment every Friday called Idiski Baby. Mina ngithi kuwe, if usister nje uzithandela ukuzathendela ama-game stadium nempitshi zakho, family, or uyozibukelela nje umuntu wakhe edlala, send us a picture or a video of yourself at the stadium uzigqokele ijezi lale team oyithandayo, ngobe sifuna ukugaya i-Trappers shoutout, sinikhuthaze futhi ukuthi nisupportene abafana ngobe le bhola elethu sonke. So are you the next Trap and Pass Disky Babe? Send it to this email, production@orlandopiratesfc.co.za, or DM us on Instagram at Trap and Pass Official. Tell us who you are, which game you attended on which day, who was your favorite player on the day, how was your experience of the game. Share your social media handles so that we can follow you. We will also feature our Trap and Pass Disky Babes on our WhatsApp channel, Trap and Pass Official. Just make sure that you do follow us today. Hi Trappers, njengenjwayelo sivala ngayo i-video of the week. Sisasukuma video. Here is our video of the week, thanks to user We Are Football 24/7 on TikTok.
Good morning, South Africa, but I'm not sure if you saw yesterday after the game, Andre Arendse, who is one of the coaches of SuperSport United, went and chastised Patrick Masangwani Tito himself, the ambulance, for dribbling too much. I think some coaches and some of the opposition they actually take it as disrespect, as belittling, and as basically toying around with them, and they do not like it at all. Now, the question is, was he in his right to do this? Of course, he's a player. He's allowed to express himself the way that he wants to, not to mention that this is South African football heritage. It's a big game. He's playing home in Orlando Stadium, which is synonymous for players showboating and showing off their very skillful skill. Yeah, some players are given the license to be creative and entertain the fans. This is part of South African football. However, I think he also did start doing it already, like, for example, in the 16th minute. Is that appropriate? For me, I don't know. It's 0-0. He's entertaining the fans, and to be honest, he did create a good chance after he did dribble. He drew attention to him, and then he started moving and went forward and created the chance for Mofokeng. His final run into the box actually dragged away the defender to give Mofokeng the space he needed to take the shot, and he should have scored, that's for sure. But for me, Patrick Masangwani, with his skills last night, created lots of chances. He was involved in 2 of the 3 goals. He took the free kick, the pass before Saleng scored. He also made the pass to put Saleng through on goal before the keeper tackled, and then Evidence Mahopa finished it. So he created chances with his skills. It's not like he did it for nothing, and Pirates won the game. So is there a lot to criticize? Maybe not, but only when they lose, then it's a problem. But if they win, what's the problem? Why are we talking about it? A direct comparison and a contrast is Fundo Vilagazi, who was dribbling in a game and showing off his skills while Chiefs were losing to Young Africans. Now, we know that Chiefs went to get battered 4-0 by Young Africans, and he did get a lot of criticism because, what was the point? Chiefs are losing. You need to stop wasting time and get to it. Go try and at least get a consolation goal for your team. if you just showboating for the sake of showboating, then for me, then that is a problem. But for example, Masangwani did not do that yesterday. He did create chances with his movement and with his skills, and he drew attention to himself and he distracted the player so that his other teammates can get into good positions, and then they play some 1-2s and then created good chances and they won the game. So for me, Masangwani is an example. If you're going to do it with a purpose. If it does not have a purpose and an end goal in sight, then it is a problem. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. I don't know what you think. Please subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Kodwa matrappers ikhona into enjengaleyo. Dribbling too much. Angicela ningitsheleni ukuthi nina yini enicabangayo.
Okay, that was it from Shabba's Corner, driven by EVW The Clan. Back to the studio.
Asibonge kuwe lapho Shabba uma 2K intwana yami. Shabba's Corner bafethu siyabonga. Shabba mfana manje sesibuyele ku second half manje Gerald siyayithatha manje lento siyayiqhubekisa silahlele 18 area. Kumele asitshele lo mntana kahle kahle ukuthi udume ngani yena. Awukhulume naye Gerald mpitshami.
So lo ukhuluma isilungu wathi uyasazi nesisuthu. Masiya ku half time. Kunendaba besiphezulu kwayo. Mara ngabona ngathi it's getting heated. Wathi ubani uthanda ubani. Mina ngidecide ukuthi I'm excusing myself from this particular
That
one because
yes.
it's two talented boys who are currently still playing. As fully situation where focus ukuthi no, those part are better, those part are better.
Yes.
Kanti maybe the focus was overseas. Umehluko yini nala. So mina nawe we are off the topic for now.
Well done.
But I got paid. Mama retire. You are coming back here, so we'll discuss them.
Will I still know anything about soccer players at that time?
You will be a much better marketer and
hope so.
PR specialist.
I hope so.
So I'm off the topic for now.
So when I'm put already, when I'm passive, one chance out go. Passiva is like they hook you up. Alexander, surely you've chilled with the likes of soccer players like Botait Mulangwana, you know them, Leo Manyama, Mongalo Kante.
I don't chill with those people.
So you know you greet and pass when?
Nako khaiko Alex ne. Ke khotse with these girls and we're all in entertainment of some sort.
Bomang so maybe ke batsa banyana ba teng.
No, we're not doing that to my cousins.
Maybe Kabatseba.
Baba's on TV. She's on Young, Rich and African.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The others are not to be mentioned, but they are. I grew up in because it's people with kids, it's grown women. Do you understand what I'm saying? And my whole thing is, that's exactly my stance about it, is that Alex and kasi wa tseba gore ha ona le bo malome le bo mamang le bo mamang ha o plomi fela wa understand yes. So and also how about tseba ka surname, you know, or whatever the case is, ke bo Campbell bale or whatever the case is. So it's not a thing ya go ke tlo ploma ke ba dumedisa ke machita, you know, but also I see them as brothers. But tseba go nka be around Neo Mashego Skodo Mamang and something must happen to me and whatnot. Limpo, I know him. Actually, according to me, he opened a pizza shop. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that I say. Yes, and that's one of my things where his wife is a designer. She's amazing. And that's what I'm saying, Jorge, there's a whole narrative towards like soccer players are like this, DJs are like this, but look at those kind of things and see how that's completely different. Well, I understand. Lebo Khang is an amazing soccer player. I came to believe Manyama.
Okay, he's now a coach.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I understand. So there is some sort of value added to that chain. And
so when I was pitting, so it told us so it was part of your marketing job.
A strategy for my reputation.
Hey.
I never needed any of that. I never. That's why I'm saying, then it would have been out there. Maybe I would have taken pictures or exposed. I've got pictures, but they're private. They're mine. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying, or whatever. I mean, to the point where I've always influenced or encouraged, if I am dating a soccer player, you know, let's go into media training. Because if I can do it myself, why do I understand? I'm only agency. Let me go and sit in your agency meetings and brief or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's always, I think there's a con to it. And that's why I'm saying it depends what kind of girl at that time.
But because mawungena kubo usuka ungangeneli indaba yokuyoba marketer, what attracts you to them? Because you've mentioned 2 for now. We don't know.
I think it's the entertainment space. You know, batho entertainment batwala together, ne? That thing is not. I because you go and pick the circles you're in automatically. Like from a long time ago before. You understand what I'm saying? How come
Okay.
Well, I understand that. And beyond that, how can I in those spaces? It's because I understand that. It's not hi, it's too late or in. We understand where we are. If I'm setting up a stage at 2 a.m. because I'm in production, no one's complaining. But if I go date an accountant or a man that wants I get to be in, then it's going to be a different situation. They don't understand my why I'm around Bostrugo, why I'm around my Keba. No one's going to understand why you're sitting with DJs 24/7 behind a booth.
And no one will understand why you are sitting at Trap and Pass and you are speaking as if you've got nothing to gain from these big personalities that are in your life. And if you are in media and marketing and nobody knows you, it is in your best interest to find yourself in bed with one of them.
No, I'm known by the right people.
Like
you know
who?
what the problem is, ne? Out there. Those are the people you need to know.
Are there any soccer players that are asking you out?
No, definitely not.
Are you rejecting them because you know
I just think that's why I'm saying, when you ask me about a type, are they my type? Because sometimes you are. That's why I'm saying something from me or from just dating me.
Okay.
Because I'm not big in certain people's eyes doesn't mean I'm not big in terms of background stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely not seeing a soccer player. There's no one in my DMs because I'm not in those spaces anymore. It's not my lifestyle.
So, but you're dating someone who's in entertainment
in marketing
space?
and entertainment, but formally.
Is he a DJ?
He's not a DJ. He's head of marketing. He owns a record label.
Okay, I hear you. So, come clever about how, ne? Come clever about how. Can you get sure when in your mind? What makes you sure?
In your mind.
Yeah, in your mind.
In your mind.
What makes you sure when I know the it doesn't mean you can be a side chick in the same house. Do you know you can be a side chick. Chef, let me tell you something. These soccer players, some of them, they buy properties. I can't believe
that we don't know.
Yes, that you don't know.
I'm going to tell you something about Lorch, right? How I knew I was certainly there. Because of the year he came into the space and which year we dated, but also because I became next of kin at a hospital injury.
Okay.
I
was the first person to get called in the hospital, and I was the one who signed those papers for him to get surgery.
So in total, do you get a medi?
Yes, give me
man.
But if you're not seeing anyone in your space, also there's patterns. I get back to my naive girl. These things happen, right? Kamo, you can say maybe I had my doubts. Did I feel them? No. We understand. There's a difference between someone doing it in your face and not doing it. But I cannot for sure say I was a side chick. Though I never felt like one.
So
where is your energy? Where is your energy?
I'm going to something.
Be confident to it, guys. How only that thing? No, how only that thing? What's about what you bring?
These 2 football players, next of kin, what, with that confidence, are there in your life, Marge? What happened to them? To their relationships?
I mean, okay. First of all, we're going to start here, né? When you grow in a certain space, be it financially, be it mentally, your taste in women becomes different. Not because you love them, because you have access. We understand? I cannot for sure any of them who are dating other girls love the girls they're with.
You're sounding like Coach Steve Compare.
English. I don't know English, but I can hear it. But what are you saying? You're rounding the bushes.
You cannot assume just because or understand. It's not access. You've got access now to something that you've never had access to before because the money has grown and the fame has grown. And that goes for both, not just one person or whatever. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay. So we're not going to chance no,
I'm not doing that. None.
None. Marmina understand bayeke wena ngoba bane access
abanyeka nami ngihambile mos
oh wohambile kuba boy 2
It's also Alex. It's all.
why kuma marketing exec
my lifestyle changed. We don't want the same things as people. Hanka ubotsa go ka usankitse ko wena as a soccer player. Let me media train you.
So you
Let
have
me
a price
media
tag?
manage. I do have a price tag, but my price tag comes with the fact that I can maintain it.
So when I can shop with cheese girl.
As an cheese girl, I work very hard.
Okay.
When Lorch met me, I was in varsity.
Mina kera khona
My
into
last
engibona
year.
ngalomntana and wena uyibona.
King.
Uyibona? Lo mntana I think uyele intwana
Clever.
uthanda ubuclever.
Ngwana ko Alex ke tle banka sidlala ke bashimane ke na le bomalume.
Wa
Ke na le bomalume nka sidlala ke
Wa rata
bashimane.
tjhelete?
No, money is not it's a factor, but it's not my biggest. Asina mutho ba di Gucci le di eng, you understand that? But my lifestyle is different. I know
overseas trips
overseas trips. Let's open a business for me, you know. I'm currently in the verge of turning my partner into my manager.
so ungasayicabangi nje ukuthi uyofuna ispan
I don't. That's why Kirinka Sibuyele. Wait, why? The lifestyle is very, very different. Unless, and it's a big unless, ne? Mutawe ya konna ari konna. Hi, I'm buying you a company, and it's going to facilitate into airline nangliwen. But what I'm saying is, I get to be face to face diploma because my circles and where I'm at, we don't go to the same places. And that's a glory about it, is that I never have to be in those spaces ever.
So when now you don't chill. You don't
I
have friends.
I don't have time.
You only chill with matured people like Stu.
Hey, hello, bye-bye, Shabba.
so you also play you are statistic in aiding guma mental issues abo because and not because ngiyak accuser mara
get
ngoba
you.
ngiyakubonisa ukuthi le pressure ebaba nayo ngoba maybe ba investile ngenhliziyo
I don't think
and
so.
oh bacabanga ukuthi they are doing well kuwe mara wena you've got bigger ambitions that angeke bona bawafikele so mawumiyeka
But I think that's a self thing. You understand? Azang katswako.
a relationship by yourself didn't
So tlako botse, number one, with Kamo, ne?
Yeah.
We didn't break up on bad terms. It was an understanding of we've been together for so many years.
Yes.
You are still, yes.
We're now
you
in
are
10
playing.
years.
You are playing. I can count for you.
How many?
So with Kamo, it was my first year in varsity, right? My first year, which means 2015, 2014. And when I was done, we carried on dating for about 5 to 6 years on and off, right? He then got into a situation. And then 2018, I dated Lorch.
situation
No, just like his personal situations in terms of growth and where he is.
Washada.
No, he's not married.
Oh.
From what I know.
When I show you marketing space for state.
So those periods in time, I understand that. It's not, I didn't put pressure on anyone or say, I'm breaking up with you because of this. Kamo grew in his own space because what I wanted and what he wanted was not the same anymore. Also, I understand only that thing, and then they're coming back to South Africa. He carried on playing. Remember, from Amsterdam, he went to England. And I was now done with varsity. With Lorch, it's very different because his transition was very visible, not only to me, but to the public. He went from being a startup soccer player to growing gradually. Like, you understand that? And I think that's what I'm saying. It's just that what we both knew together in a closed space, when we both start seeing the public, is very different.
And I feel ukuthi mina the way ngibona ngakhona your ambition got bigger.
Definitely.
Kula masalary wabo you thought ukuthi angeka lunga ama soccer player salary.
Funny enough, ne? Can I please tell you, Jorge, in my lifetime, Lorch nasang bechi in terms of kakofe chelete so, but I was taken care of. So I understand how semuto o ratang chelete as in lemi.
Mamela madala. Ukhuluma ngebusiness.
Yeah.
Awukhuluma ngombheke.
I did that myself.
Ukhuluma ngokuthi your need A1 ebalekile ukuthi if they can do business for you.
But that's now. If you can start a business for me now, right? But I'm not with them now, so I don't have to work. Those are not my problems. Not my circus, not my clowns.
So when I kata banna by 4, baba to build business or back home.
No, no.
Because of?
Because I've got someone who can do that for me
You
now.
have kids?
I don't have kids. I don't plan on having kids anytime soon.
Why?
I'm traveling. I want to live my life. I can.
You know you've got good answers, but I equal
No, but there's no. Let me tell you something. Also, that's what I'm saying. In as much as I have no gain from dating celebrities, right? There's no like because I need something. It's the same way with me. I have a reputation on my own. Anyone could be dating me for clout, for money, for this, for connections as well. That's why I'm saying most of the time men look at themselves and think somebody always wants something from them. You don't know what the person wants from me, even if it's for fame.
Ngoba could easily mistaken you for a motivational speaker who could speak to anyone.
I'm a qualified PR and communication.
Yes, of course. Mara ngifila ngathi labantu besikhuluma ngabo.
That's my answer to you, right? To both of you.
Okay.
And this is the shocker you're going to get about the whole situation. People are not used to normal people. So this shock you have right now about who I am, right? Eventually, I kidula every day. Hi, man, and I'm like this 24/7. Aksa entertain. It doesn't spark you. You're not getting how screaming 24/7. People don't know how to be loved, and when you are met with proper love, you become shocked. So you're waiting for Dineo ho atlhanye. You're waiting for Dineo ho alo chitela le soccer player engwe. You don't understand why Dineo as alimona aside say anything weird. That shocks you as a person. And that's like what I experienced. That's what I experienced. Both of my experiences are that way. I'm all the way out of South Africa. When is it going to happen? And then what happens? One accuser goes and hi, no, nothing's going on about me. It keeps, and you become insecure when yourself. And I look up to him. You understand what I'm saying? You create those narratives about me. Any soccer player I've been approached, and not in a way so they say, oh, but you've created that narrative for me. I didn't give you that. So you're waiting. People don't know how to be loved. And that goes back to the GBV, the mental capacity, the growing and everything. People need to be trained that it's normal for people to be normal.
Yeah, I wanted to say I'm defeated, but ngoba aksi competition, Dineo, I'm impressed. I'm very, very impressed with you.
Thank you.
Uyayimela indaba yakho for umuntu obuye Alexander. Angaze ngakubona ka Joe lapha enyameni because nami ngiyafika. But from what we were talking about, it's important that we make mention of Lorch and why he became part of a content here on this Women's Month,
yes.
Which is people, especially football fans, must be the first ones to acknowledge which he committed a crime, a domestic violence crime,
yes.
And via a court, Tatu decision etatiwe. Lorch continued playing football, which is what he knows best. And at the end of the day, we don't want it to seem like we are focusing on Ikala Lake.
Yes.
We want to say, we acknowledge ukuthi wenze something engamelanga ngabuye yenza because umuntu odumile they look up to him to change lives positively, not ngokugura nabantu nokwenza izinto ezifana.
It's funny that you actually say that, right? I was just actually thinking it's so strange, Jorge, and it goes back to as somebody who's grown in the hip hop fraternity and you know how things are. And on the serious note of it is that it's a very deep situation. You know, I speak about it very lightly, but to see somebody change that much, right? And you wish, because as a woman, I'll be bashed if I scream and say, I wanted to even, tweet, post about it and say, I don't know this person you guys are talking about because I don't know him to be that way. I'm not saying it's anyone's fault, but I'm just saying that when I broke up Lorch, it happened. I think I made it grow out because I never ever wanted anyone to have a bad stance of who this person was and why we broke up. So I made it very neutral. And that's why I'm saying, Jorge, I don't know this Lorch anyone speaks of. So I can never say, Jorge, he's a horrible person or he's a monster. To the extent where I recently had Livuko Khai and I initiated that someone who I know who's a good person, Andile Ngube, is very close to Khai, right? He's a father of my niece. I even initiated with him having a conversation, and he said to me for the first time, what's going on in the situation? And I explained to him. He said to me, oh, that's why it's that deep. 5 years later, I said to him, can I please encourage you that I know Mutu Nahoho Ojwang? Please go have an interview with him. He doesn't need to know it comes from me. And that's why I'm saying I still have many conversations with a lot of people who are able to reach him and have a conversation with him without me confusing him. Because the moment you don't know what it's for or what the intention is, right? Especially your ex. But I still see that there's growth there and there's a space for him to do better. And I don't think he's doing horribly at all. And if he was, he wasn't going to be a person who's, I feel like he's still very not committed to the social media platforms. We understand that. And that's why I can take people and be like, interview him and whatnot. Angela and him were actually on the verge of an interview, which shows how people, you would not be talking about him or keep trying to like, you know, encourage him if no one didn't see value in him.
And big ups to you first, Oguti. You put your body on the line and you say, there's a good human being.
Definitely.
Before lento befuna ukcreatwa mhlamba abantu abadecide ukuthi no uyile onto noma yenzeka yi1. We are not saying ma uyenzeka yi1 right.
It's right. Yes.
Ayikho right, no, but
not at all.
When you are here saying, because sometimes they
Also,
don't need to listen to me or
personally, when you personally also know the partners he's been with in a personal capacity, then it's very different. Because nkare ole mushiman ke go wena, hey, media how yetsa sole, that's why I hit her. But that's why I always say everything to you has to be factual, and that's why you mentioned how muto ile go courting and when to go alwetsa makala. I understand. We don't know what happened in court. My narrative when I got the phone call from the first situation was very different. And I didn't call or say anything to anyone because I didn't want to be a part of it. And that's why I get it till today. I got a call and they said, I didn't do that. I know it wasn't me and I know this is what happened. You know, but I'll never speak on it as somebody who advocates for females, number one, as somebody who might even go through the situation myself one day and believe it when I speak on it. But I also want to move away the narrative because I'm one of maybe 5 girls who can speak out loud and say, I don't have a cheating experience with these soccer players. I don't have a situation where I've had to fight girls. I've never had phone call situations. All those things that you can think of. And it goes back to question, how do you know you were the only one? I might have not been, but I've never felt like I was a part of chaos. I've never experienced chaos, and I'm being very honest.
And you distance yourself from being the advocate for women. But I'm challenging you now to speak to the young girl that might come up against the situation, abuse, red flags. You
know, I'm currently actually speaking on it a lot, right? And this goes back to me building my agency. It's people listen to what's popular, not what's right. So you only come back to Dineo after situation it's a hit. Oh, Dineo sile acho. Mara because how I get the posty 24/7 or all the time. What's around you right now looks hot, so you listen to that. Same thing with management. Anyone can come to you and say, so you're a soccer player, manager. I've got this and this and this and this and this. I've had situations like that, even with artists, where everyone wants you. As soon as you flop, then you remember, Dineo spoke about this. Let me go back to that and talk to her. Same thing with me being on this platform. A lot of people are probably going to be shocked. But I can tell you now, you'll get comments about, we remember this girl, we know her. Because there's not really bad. I might have a bad personality. You never know. I'm good to one person and bad. But you understand? And that's why I say it goes back to the soccer fraternity. I don't have any bad experiences of soccer players, so I can't personally say I've experienced any sort of violence or side chick behavior or situations where I've had to bust anyone with anything. Same thing with the houses we were talking about, that maybe some people have apartments. I've heard Mang home, Kaizer Chiefs home, soccer player home, Pirates home, whatever. I've never had to go to an apartment where there was guys drinking. And the first time I ever convinced Lorch to go out, I had to beg him. And it was at my cousin's event. Motole okeniko event in Kepisilim. Adula on the side had like 2 glasses of Hennessy, and he was like, okay, I'm ready to go home. I lived with the person who was watching the training. I can't get what the videos, our trainer. And I would get bored, like, okay, can we watch something? Can we go outside? Can we do something? And the person's like, no, I need to watch my corrections. You understand? So it differs.
So if you ever need to get married to Lorch and he is available and you need uncles Drew and Gerald are here.
I'm very happy with my partner right now.
Okay.
The person I'm with right now.
I want the next partner, how, ne?
No.
No, I know I still won't cry that time.
So right then.
It's Women's Month.
You're not going to get any bad vibes from me.
Women too.
It's very sharp. I try my best. I'm not perfect, but I'm a human advisor. It's I mean, listen, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, but I influence. I can't come and speak on talent in general. So we call it talent in entertainment. Whether you're a soccer player, we call it talent. I can't speak on talent in a bad form when I'm there as a manager to come eliminate all those things. You know what I'm saying?
So Dineo, to young ladies watching this show, but by rather to our trappers, to these girls, I think ukhali man. Well, this thing patnyana how you have khalinyana or confident. Phela bukhali una lo tita confident amuntu una mutu bukhali khanti una lo confident.
They can check my bio everywhere.
So what advice can you give these young upcoming girls? And
firstly, I want to ask, do we still have encouragement for women that are playing soccer? That are coming up? Are there spaces?
Waiting for you.
Okay, we'll work on that. I think let's start with talent, right? Which is, and that's also my other thing. We need to get rid of that, the name soccer players. They are talent. And as soon as they're held as that, I think then we can move to that, right? I think, number one, connect with the right agencies. Connect with the right agencies. I think make it normal to get media training. That's what I'm working on right now. My biggest thing is media training. But for Arabadi interview overseas in their home language, we're still stuck on trying to force English in South Africa. Which answers to get. And we need managers who are serious towards talent. Now I'm very strict. If my talent is going to go do an interview, I want 10 questions first and I want to read through them so I know what they're going to be asked. And I can say, my talent is not answering those things and those things and those things. I think for females, most of the time you think you don't have a reputation as a girl because also tsibiwi, and then you think you're messing up somebody's life. Most of the time it ends up horribly for the females. We surround ourselves by GBV, but it's also done the other way. Those are people's lives. People have kids, people have homes to feed, they've got, and especially coming from a soccer player, if you're going to date a soccer player as a girl, I think just do away with the clout. Clout is very temporary, it's very temporary, but just the encouragement of also moving away from wanting to be famous. It looks like fame at that time, but it's really not. Even if one has Dineo and thingy on show, it looks nice, but people don't know what happens in the background. So I wouldn't encourage anyone to just chase for that. It's not my kind of thing,
So right now, what are you busy with? What are you currently busy with?
I'm busy with a lot of things. So I don't have one thing. I recently come from Black Coffee's office. I used to work for Solistic Agency.
Okay, that's nice.
So I'm currently waiting for Back to the City in October. I hope I can get tickets for everyone in the room. Biggest hip-hop, I don't know if people still like hip-hop. Biggest hip-hop festival. I am on the verge of opening my own agency because I need for people to do media training. I need for people to understand the background of PR and all those things. And hopefully, the recruiter one day to do that. But other than that, I'm always in my own capacity doing brand work, artist management. Yeah, that's me.
No, when I'm right, Gerald. When I eat for right.
You can grow me one more time. You can. The hardest.
No, it's not that. It's not that I'm out here to grill you. It's just that we needed to get in-depth information about a whole lot of things that you educated us.
It goes back to what I say, right? People look for toxic behavior. And if it's not there, then you become in shock. And I can understand. Homutu's going to watch this and be like, hey, this girl, maybe there's a fake situation. No, it's real life. And how you've grown from like different. I can accommodate. I can be in Alex and still chill and still be Dineo. Understand? Champagne, but I'm still in the club drinking champagne. I don't change because of my setting. And they know me as that Kokas and they know me as that Insanton. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So from Trap and Pass, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
But most importantly, on a management company and the talent must look for an agency, right? Maybe advise you the talent because as soon as he's in my office in Aplash, that's where the pressure starts. Now,
that's true. There's too many people in our voices.
With a certain mentality, I don't belong here because the management team will not go to where he lives in Soweto or in
My
Alexander.
biggest struggle is this. Obona Dineo, you can say makeup, she comes in with a heel, you assume she can't work. That's my biggest struggle. right? I'm always going to be people. I can build at the stage. I do production as well. When I go on a stage, someone expects me to be wearing like baggy jeans and looking horrible. I'm always going to look neat, whether I'm on stage or not. So that's also my thing, is that don't look. And Casper Nyova spoke about this recently. You meet Dineo, and the first thing you want to do is sleep with her. You don't even know other things that you could have broken. Or really too, the relationship is broken. Where else? You don't know what we could have been doing further on in life.
Such a hello share.
Mara, uyakhuluma in general ngoba ubheka ngapha.
No, I'm just saying in general, utlakana lin nane.
Oh yeah.
And the first thing you think of is lin. Then I agree, and that happens, whether it's in friendship or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But then that happens and it ends the relationship. Later on, you realize, oh, we actually could have been dope business partners.
And open that social media account to Valile, because young girls need to hear a lot.
They don't
more
like
from you.
it. They like what's out there, what's popular.
Khuluma English emnandi lo mntana ne.
Siyabonga
Thanks
sister
to you,
usivakashela
team.
kakhulu.
Thanks for having me. You guys are amazing. Also, congratulations to both of you. I'm going to tell you why.
But amazing.
Because people don't expect for you guys to have or conduct interviews like this.
We look alike, no?
No.
Beautiful.
Both of you.
Okay, thank you.
Amen.
Yeah, for now,
Ngomthandazo.
you've been doing cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to our show.